All right, we have a oldie but a goodie. It's a Ford Lynx 1.6 that apparently wants a new exhaust set. His previous exhaust set is from our best friend. So, a couple of things that we noticed right away with the exhaust that it came with. Number one, it's too big. So, that alone tells us that for a 1.6, the pipings he used were too big. And then the muffler, of course, is a non-branded muffler, so he wants a whole new exhaust system with a Borla muffler. So that's what we're gonna give him, and we're gonna compare our dynos side by side. No tuning, no nothing, just straight up, full exhaust, back to back. All right, this is the exhaust that we took out of the Ford Lynx. As you can see, it ain't that great. He actually used a lot of the stock components. This is stock, that is stock. The piping here is stock. This pipe here is stock. He just cut it and welded a fake HKS muffler. But the most striking thing that's wrong about this exhaust is the size of this primary pipe. This is 175. This is simply just too big for the engine. And if you look at the other thing wrong here, there should be a flange here so you can take out the header alone. So instead of just taking out the header, you need to take out the whole thing. If you can see here, you actually have to match the exhaust port size to your pipe, meaning that, see this one here, this is an oval port. Your pipe here needs to be oval as well. So I don't know if you can see it on camera, but pag sinalat mo dito, malaki yung labi eh. You know, there's a lip here, there's a lip there, and the ports inside here aren't even that great. So there may sabit dito, may sabit dyan. Ideally, after you weld the pipe, you should port this thing to make it nice and smooth and get rid of the welds inside. So that's number one, that's wrong. Number two, that's wrong. This pipe here is also too big. This is a 2-inch pipe. This is wrong, that's too big. The joining here, the Y pipe, ideally I would like to have this a little bit longer. This primary length here is okay, but once again, it doesn't really matter because your pipe size is wrong to begin with. This flexible section is correct, but once again, there should be a flange here where you can take out the header alone if need be without, let's say you want to drop the transmission or the oil pan or something. Instead of just taking out the header, you have to take out the whole exhaust, which requires more work. And like I said, this is a stock, so we just cut the stock part and weld this. Yeah, generic fake looking HKS exhaust. And you can see here, this is actually the stock component also. So cut here, cut there, and it's a not so very nice weld. It's welded, it works, but obviously it's not that pretty. It's obviously a different size pipe that goes in here. It's not a smooth bend, it's not a smooth transition. And yes, and the bracket here is made up of chopped up bits. Real quality work. Well, you get what you pay for. You buy a cheap exhaust, you get cheap product. Okay, but all of that fabrication doesn't really matter if it works. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. It can be the ugliest thing in the world, but if it works, it works. So here we put it on our Dynocom dyno, and we actually got 109 and 110 horses back-to-back runs. That actually surprised me a little bit because for a 1.6 engine, that's actually quite high. Recalling my previous data banks, I know that 100 horses up for a 1.6 is Civic VTI territory, and we know that the Ford Lynx is nowhere near Civic VTI. But then again, this car is it has Unichip. It's already been tuned before. At 110 horses, it's not so bad. It's actually pretty respectable. So what we're going to be doing now is, without retuning the Unichip, no nothing, we're just going to change out the exhaust to the correct size one and then dyno it again. So the tuning is not even a factor. Wala kaming gagawin sa computer. We're not going to even plug it in. As in, do our exhaust, bolt it in, dyno it again. Okay, now we have our exhaust here, our custom fabricated exhaust. We actually now use 1.5-inch pipe here. See, that's 1.5 inch. It's a lot smaller than the 175 there. And we matched the port shape to the tube. So it's an oval, so this is also an oval. And of course, like I said, it's port match inside, and then we did everything correctly. There is a flexible pipe down there, which we can't really see. And then afterwards, we did a full 1.5-inch piping all throughout to the back. It's not a mismatch of pipes where we saw a while ago. There's a mixture of 2, 175, 2, and 1.5 again. So that's not correct. You should want your piping all to be one size as much as possible. Don't chop it. The reason for that is actually pretty simple. You think of exhaust pipes as a road. You don't want a road that narrows and widens and narrows and widens again, because the speed of the cars that go through that obviously will be different for each section. Pag makitid, babagal. Pag malapad, bibilis, tas babagal ulit. No, you don't want that. You want the road to be a consistent width all throughout. That's what gives the best and most constant speed. Like I said, all of the fabrication is nice and great, all of the theory is nice and great, but that don't mean jack shit if it doesn't make power. So, time to dyno. Alright, and then there we have it, folks. This is his previous dyno before, 109, 110, let's put it at that. And then without doing nothing, we just bolted on our exhaust R version. We are at 113.9, so 114 for intents and purposes. And it's not just here at the peak, it is a pretty consistent power gain all the way from 2000 RPM up to red line. And the same thing that it dips down here, it dips down here too. That's pretty much it. So there you have it. You don't need any more proof than that. It's that simple. A properly designed exhaust versus an exhaust that is chopped up using bits and pieces. So once again, if the exhaust shop does not have a dyno, they have no business being in the performance business if they can't tell you how much power you're making, unlike what we do here.